Website.com is the first and only online reputation management company that permanently removes negative information from Google search results. If you want to repair your online reputation forever, by removing from your Google search results all the negative articles, reviews, blogs, complaints, videos and more about you, we can show you how we delist from Google those bad results within 24 hours. No upfront fees. No monthly retainers. You can find our contact details in the description of this video.
Online reputation management techniques by Website.com. Prior to undertaking any action, you need to assess the current situation. It is fairly easy to make a search. Search your name on various search engines and then set searching alarms for your name with Google Alerts. This way you will know when there are mentions of your brand on the web. If you find things that you do not want to appear on the internet, it is important to remember if you posted them. For example, pictures that you should have kept in a private account. If you have control over these posts, you can simply delete them. However, if you have nothing to do with these posts, you can use the Google removal tool so that the pages do not appear in SERPs. If negative information about your brand appears on certain blogs or content sites, then you cannot use Google options for removing content from SERPs. You can only use these options if that site violates certain policies or laws. You can create a positive profile with your full name and as many positive links in your favor. The more positive links you add to your profile, the negative ones will be eliminated. If you cannot completely eliminate the negative things, the only solution is to create as much positive content and thus, the negative results will be pushed lower and lower in ranking and top positions will be occupied with positive content that you create about yourself. Social networks play an important role in this whole process of changing your online reputation. Facebook and Twitter matter to SEO, so your activity on these two networks is important. Another SEO technique is creating an identity hub. This is a good way to highlight even more positive things about yourself. The links to all the positives content try to bring it to the people. You need a domain name that includes your name, if possible. Probably one of the best tips is to avoid sharing too personal information with others, things that can turn against you later, things that can be seen by people who are not supposed to see them. When you want to distribute such information, you must consider whom they are addressed to, or you can build more circles of friends, acquaintances, people at work, and show each circle different things. You have Google Plus for this. Rather than having personal information about yourself shared, you might want to share things that you like, that are part of your sphere of interest, or to write about topics that you are very good at, thus creating original and useful content that will definitely help you individualize online.
Online reputation management tips by Website.com. When someone searches for your personal name, brand, or business online, what will they find? What they should find is your website, blog, and main social profiles. However, for many brands and individuals, bad reviews, complaints, and negative content is ranking right at the top of the search results and being tossed around on social media. The practice of cleaning up these areas, monitoring what is being said by others and knowing how to combat these issues is a process called reputation management. We all want to look better online, so I compiled a killer post of great information and recommendations from different experts in the industry that focus their efforts on SEO, ORM, blogging, social media and of course, business. You've likely heard of online reputation management, ORM, before, and in some cases you might even think of it as being shady and trying to cover up the truth. However, just like every agency has a different goal and customer has a different problem, the same holds true for ORM. Do shady brands, celebrities, politicians and businesses need ORM? Of course. But so do the cleanest and more professional brands and individuals. In short, ORM is all about knowing what people are saying about you online, knowing where it's being said, and how to repair, control and monitor these mentions at the same time. If you already know a thing or two about ORM and SEO, There are many similarities between the two. One of the absolute best ways to control your online reputation and how people see your brand online is by making sure you own the search results. By this we mean having as many page 1 rankings for your personal or brand name as possible. Gone are the days when you had to go to Google and manually look up your name or brand to see where it's ranking in the search results. Now, through the power of software, not only can this process be automated, it can also keep you updated on new mentions in the process. A free tool like Google Alerts allows you to type in the keyword name you want to monitor, and Google will send you an email every time it finds a new mention within its search results. There are also much more advanced and premium tools like Mention.net and Tracker, which allow you to monitor mentions across all websites, blogs, and social networks. No matter how you are monitoring for personal and brand name mentions online, the important thing is that you are. It's not enough to simply know where people are talking about your personal name or brand, it's also important to know why and how to respond to these statements. In many cases, reputation management services are used by brands that have products, customers, and reviews associated with their business. Reviews are one of the most powerful, effective and influential ways to persuade someone to take action during a decision or buying process. Sites like Yelp, Consumer Report, Rip-Off Report, and TripAdvisor have millions of reviews that ultimately affect the bottom line for millions of businesses around the world. In addition to review sites, brands also need to monitor forums, blogs and social networks for mentions, reviews and feedback as well. Many brands will actively monitor and respond to all social activity, mainly on Twitter, when their name is mentioned, tweeted, or used in a hashtag. Social media feedback has been one of the most effective and fastest ways for brands to connect with their customers. We can talk about reputation management secrets, methods, tools, and tactics all we want, but at the end of the day, your reputation ultimately comes down to what you make of it. This can clearly be seen when looking at the world's most reputable companies list, which has many familiar names like Walt Disney, Google, BMW, Rolex, Sony, Canon, and Apple. These are all brand names that people love to work with, buy from, and even become advocates and huge fans. Now it's time for you to take what you've learned and put it into action. To get things started, head over to Google and see what ranks in the search results for your personal name, brand and business.